Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle D, or Coach Danni D, and I help women entrepreneurs and professionals to achieve their personal success stories that include joy, fulfillment, and balance. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease, be successful, and enjoy your life. My happy place is spending as much time in my PJs as humanly possible. And I want to help other women find their happy space while running profitable businesses or having a successful career. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danni D, always here helping you to find that space of joy, fulfillment, balance today in your life today so that you're not waiting for that to happen, right? So that you can live the life you're supposed to and walk in your purpose. So this is my very favorite episode of the year. Each year, for the anniversary of the podcast, we do a panel discussion with the past guests. So whoever's available to be here for that discussion, we come in and we have that discussion. It's my favorite because you just I feel like every time I end this session, it feels almost like a therapy session because everybody is sharing their experiences and you get to see where each person kind of crosses over a little bit with the other person, or that somebody may have been walking a similar path as you throughout this past year. So I'm so excited about that. I'm gonna let our guests introduce themselves, reintroduce themselves to you guys. Make sure you go back and watch their individual episodes because they're all amazing. Um, just by like serendipity, everybody on here tonight are Capricorns, right? So we are in the season of Capricorns. We start and end the year, rightfully so. Um,
That's true.
so
You're right.
you got some, very determined energy in the room today, and I'm excited about that. So one in the comments, make sure you tell everybody happy birthday. So everybody's birthday is gonna have passed by the time this airs, and so we're in a celebratory mood for several reasons. But let's let the guests introduce themselves so we can get right into these questions. So Samantha, do you want to start?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Samantha Gregory, the self-care alchemist, and I help high-performing women transform their burnout into better boundaries, more balance, and shameless bliss by increasing their energy capacity so they can make a good impact and income. I'm really happy to be here again and talking with Coach Danny.
Hey, Samantha.
Hi.
Welcome back. All right, Keena, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I go. Keena Nelson. I'm your clarity business coach. So I help women professionals gain clarity, confidence, and strategies on how to launch and grow their businesses without the overwhelm. And I've always spoke on like clarity as a foundation because without that, we're picking at straws, we're throwing spaghetti at the wall, and feeling like we're stuck. So I'm helping women to get over that. And I'm glad to be here. I'm so glad you're doing this. And happy birthday, everyone.
Thank you, thank you. All right, Ty, you're up.
So I am Ty Selvant, founder of Time with Ty, where I work with women to help elevate care for themselves, their marriages, their families, and their communities. And speaking of current projects, I have a series of connection calendars that are created to do just that, to walk with you throughout the entire year. Whether you're looking at for personal development or marriage care, there's a calendar for you.
Awesome.
Awesome. And before we wrap up, I'm going to get deeper into what each of you have going on because I
Mhm.
want everybody to really connect with what you have going on. I do have two of those calendars from Ty, and I'm excited about going through that journey. So I'll definitely get back to that. All right. So I'm gonna throw out a question. Whoever wants to jump at it first. So the first question is, at the start of 2025, what did success look like to you? And how has that definition changed as we enter 2026?
I can go. So at the start of 25, I wanted to come out of my comfort zone, really stretching the comfort zone, not really stepping out, but stretching that comfort zone in my business and as an entrepreneur. So I did seek the help of my coach. I was like, I want to stretch because staying safe, I've always played it safe. I'm also a behind the scenes girl. That's where I operate the best behind the scenes. But being a coach, it's like you really not behind the scenes. But
Yeah.
then again, you are, right? Because you
Right.
got your
Yeah.
client and you pushing them, hey, do this. This is what you need to do. Have you thought about this? But also you in front of their face, like, well, why didn't you do it yet? Now you can't get the results if you don't do the work. But I wanted to do that because I said I can't grow and I can't help more women if I stay in my corner, in my little circle. So I did that with my coach, and I'm so happy I did that because I've been on interviews. I'm actually in partnership with Coach Danni D and the book. I'm like, what? I'm really telling my story. And I also have a day job. So I talk there and I'm home, building up my skills for this whole year. I got into a health journey. So I've lost weight. So I wanted to do something totally different than I've been doing and just be what I said I was going to do. So that's what success looked like to me. And now into 2026, it's like I have other opportunities are opening up. So I'm like,
Hmm.
yes, thank you, Jesus. So in my business and I'm expanding. So I'm very happy about that.
That's beautiful. That is
Thank you.
absolutely beautiful. And it takes a lot for us to jump out. You know what I'm saying? And actually stay out, right? Because a lot of times we'll jump out and then we're like, ooh, that felt uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
then we retreat back in and we don't
Mm-hmm.
continue to push ourselves the way that we should. So that is
Mm-hmm.
absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
So I will share
Mm-hmm.
a couple of the things that I wanted to do by the end of the year when I thought in January and I made my list of things. It was to be intentional about supporting five Black owned, like women owned businesses, right? Because we know how hard it is to do what we are doing. And you can only get so many platitudes, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh, that's so good. Oh, this is so
Right.
nice. That doesn't equal sales. That doesn't
Right.
equal
Right. Right.
recommendations. That doesn't equal, right? So I was very intentional about that. And I ended up, one of those calendars is a women's entrepreneur calendar where I got to
Mm-hmm.
feature 12 women owned businesses and even like have a page on my website to continue to support and promote other women owned businesses. So I'm really excited about, and I didn't know what it would look like in the beginning, right? When I
Right.
created that goal,
Mm-hmm.
but to not only surpass it, but to continue to support and promote other Black women owned businesses has been really cool.
Right. And I love how you said, like, the accolades, because people will give accolades, but I mean, think about this. We all know somebody who is a business owner. We all know somebody who's doing great things. Even something as simple as taking an accolade and turning it into a review.
Hello.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's
that
Recommendation.
that's
is the
that's
the
so
Yes.
good.
simplest form
Yeah.
of something that you can do for somebody
Mm-hmm.
that can make a huge difference because, people will say that all the time. And then if you put a post up and say, "Well, can you go and, leave reviews?" Then it's crickets. It's like,
Yeah.
"Hey,
Oh,
that's helpful to me. If I was helpful to
mhm.
you in any way,
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
can you do something to be helpful to me to bring in revenue, right?
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, I still want these lights to be on. So
That's
I,
all.
I love that intentional support, like that you're doing that. And or if you have the capacity, referring people when you have the opportunity to do so, if you know somebody's looking for a particular
Mhm.
thing, or even if it may be not top of mind for that person, if you know, okay, I know, Ty has the capacity to do this thing. Um,
Mhm.
it might be a little off of what she does, but it's in that wheelhouse.
Mhm.
Help her get the foot in the door. I love that. I absolutely love that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's amazing, ladies. I love both of your intentions for the beginning of the year, and mine was to connect and collaborate with more people this year, because I believe it's easy to do things in a silo by yourself, and I've been doing that for years. But I was like, I just want to meet more people and collaborate and connect with more people, especially women in business, whether it's support businesses or consulting businesses or whatever, it doesn't matter. But mostly women of color. And so I really had the opportunity to be a part of, I feel like two or three groups this year that were specific and intentional about with talking with, supporting, and being a networking option and solution for women of color, Black women. And it was just such an amazing experience. I made really great connections this year. Um, and on top of that, with my podcast, the Self Care Oasis podcast, of course, I met Coach Danny through that, had her on my podcast. And so I think I had a total of, I think, 14 or 15 women that I spoke with over the year. And it was just such an amazing experience. And expanding on the, connecting, I did more connecting like over on Substack. I've been meeting a lot of great people there, and the way it's working is like hopping on different almost sharing trains. So I've been able to share more and have more people see my writing and my work and connect with me. And so I've had people reaching out to me now. They're like, "Hey, I would love to do a collab. I've got a meeting next week of someone who wants to pitch me a collaboration opportunity." So all these things have just been happening for me, and it's because I set an intention to connect and collaborate with more people. And I feel like when the tide rises, all our boats rise as well. So we get a chance to all be successful and have the referral network and be able to work with one another so that we can have more impact and income in our business. And it's just making a difference in the lives of so many, many people.
I love that. I love that. That's actually my I think my 2026, one of the things that I want to work on is leaning more into community.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So I feel like
Yeah.
I've always been a big community person, but I also have to learn how to be a community member, if that makes
Hmm.
Okay.
sense.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
because we're
If that
leaders.
That's true.
if
Yeah.
that
We
makes sense, like,
interact.
Yeah.
I actually asked somebody that one time. They asked me a question and I was like, why did you ask me that? Like, I of all the people in this space, why did you ask me? And she's like, you just have like you're in charge energy. And
Hmm.
I was like, but I'm not. I was just sitting here next to you. Um, so learning how to receive help is one of the things that I really want to work on in like 2026. But
Yeah.
like I think my 2025 idea of success, I don't know that I started with it, but somewhere in the midst of it, I leaned heavily into like, obedience and abundance. And so kind of like going back to what Kina was saying about just leaning into that uncomfortable space, right? Like, I spent a lot of uncomfortable time in this year, but in a very, very good way.
Yeah.
And trying to continue to operate in that space of discomfort and knowing that that discomfort is coming from growth.
Yes.
And, knowing that that is what it's about. And it's not discomfort like from being in the wrong situation, is actually the discomfort for being in the absolute right situation, and just leaning in and realizing on the other side, like I've had so many moments on the other side where I'm like, So you was sitting up there trying to go hide in the bag because I'm a behind the scenes girl too, right? Trying to hide in the bag. And somebody was waiting for you to say what you needed to say so that they could get their stuff together. And you know, I can't talk about this without talking about the book that's sitting behind me, The Capable Confident You, because one of the chapters talks about how are you hiding? And so are you hiding in plain sight or are you hiding behind the scenes?
Mm.
And, you know, spoiler alert, some of us are hiding both ways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're high achieving, so it doesn't look like we're hiding. You know, that's the plain sight. We're doing all the things, but there's that part that makes you uncomfortable that we kind of hide from. You know, like that we are like, let me just keep doing this thing because it's easy. You know, it's easy for me. It might look spectacular to the next person, but it's easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that has been a big like growth for me this year is just staying in the uncomfortable, pushing forward, and then also knowing that it's gonna work.
Right.
Like, you know, just knowing that it's gonna work. Like, don't worry about how, just get out there and do it, you know, and try not to be terrified.
Yes.
Okay, so next question. Um, So, you know, I follow all of you guys. I hope that everybody listening does. If you don't, go and follow. Like, there's a wealth of knowledge right here that you're missing out on if you're not following. But I follow all of you guys. So I see what's going on social media. You know, we have our um side group that we, you know, talk about stuff in as well. So I know that y'all had some huge wins this year, right? You know, and we can see that on the public facing end. What are some boundaries that you had to set behind the scenes to protect your peace?
For me, I worked on a project that was initially really stressful. The communication style was horrible. The and I was because I do contract work, and so I work for a contracting company, and this wasn't directly related to my core business, but because it's about communication, it's about standing up for what you want, it's about setting boundaries. I expressed to the what would I call her? Kind of like the representative, the agent between me and the company. And I said, this is not working for me. And I would used to be the one that would push through,
Mm-hmm.
grin and bear it and just go with the flow. No, I said no. I can't. I cannot work with this person. I need you all to either put me somewhere else or I'm gonna leave. And because I know my reputation, they were like, "Oh no, we need to figure out how I wanted to make her happy." And that was so profound for me because I spoke up. I activated my mediocre white man energy and I said, no, this does not work for me and I need you to fix it.
Oh my
And they did.
God.
And I went to a better project team and it went smoothly until
Mm-hmm.
the project kind of fell apart. But that's another story.
Still, yeah.
But it's like finally standing up and saying, this doesn't work for me.
Right.
I'm not happy with this. The communication style is horrible. I'm confused and I can't work under these conditions. And I think
Mm-hmm.
as Black women, being able to not just stand up for yourself, but be able to identify what works for you, what doesn't
Right.
work for you,
Right.
what's going to drive you crazy, what's too stressful, because we don't have to live under stress. We don't have
Right.
to be
Right.
in constant stressful situations. And so by
Mm-hmm.
being able to really define my policies about what works for me and stand on that and express that and demand a remedy,
Yes.
I would not have had the opportunity to move over to something else and feel peace in, as I'm working, feel peace
Mm-hmm.
and feel like accepted and I'm accepting them because now I'm looking at it from a lens of it's not about them accepting me and me being good enough. Are they good enough for me?
That part.
You know?
That part.
So
Right.
that's where I landed and
Yeah.
it worked out beautifully. I opened my mouth. I was like, no. I'm at this big age now, and I'm just not having this. This is too much, and so that's a boundary I set
Mhm.
for not just for other people, but for myself. Because I think setting boundaries for yourself and what you will and won't accept, what your policies, procedures are, and that's what I like to call them, um, determines how satisfied you are with life and with the situation and circumstance that you're in. So I'm proud of myself for doing that.
Look,
Like, I'm proud of you for doing
me
that. And
too.
I'm glad that you shared it because
Mhm.
I don't think that we think about it that way.
Oh, no.
I
Mm-mm.
don't think that we think about, especially in professional spaces,
Right.
that, we kind of just like, that's the job,
Hmm.
and you've been
Hmm.
working with this person you want to strangle for like, however many years. And it's just like, they're just like that. And that's just the
Right.
job. And you're just
God.
supposed to, just figure it out.
Hmm.
And sometimes there is no figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
and like I said, we got Capricorns on this call. We about our business.
That
Man.
part.
We are
Ooh.
about our business and handling business. But, the quickest way to like frustrate us is somebody that's all like, either give me the assignment and leave me alone,
That part.
or if you want to be involved, you better be on your stuff, because
Mm.
otherwise it's gonna be
Yes.
like, and it's only so
Yes.
long I can hold my face in the right way.
Bring the drama. Don't bring.
Don't bring
Yeah.
drama. We don't operate like, especially when it comes to like business. Like, it's like, like, we could be best friends, but business is something different.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
we are more structured. We are more like, okay, boom, 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 let's knock this out. And
Hmm.
so I'm so glad that you shared that. And it reminded me, I was asked, I'm on a board, and one of the questions when we did a retreat was, what are like, it was several things, but one of the parts of the question was, what are your deal breakers
Oh.
in working together? What are the things that would frustrate you? And so I had never thought about that before. Like, I know what they are, but I never thought about it from a standpoint of, in this capacity, I can share, these are the things, you just kind of like learn to adapt to whoever you're dealing with, as opposed to just out front. Let's put it on the table. You do this, I'm out.
Hmm.
And so I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
welcome.
If I can go, Samantha, Coach Danny, that is what I have done and been through, and I shared with you, Coach.
Yes.
Um, it was in a professional setting, work. I had just finished, and I wanted to get closer to God too. That's in 25, started in 25, and it's spilling over into 26, and I'm happy about it. Got into a community where um, it's iron sharpens iron. So I love the community. It's very supportive, and I walk with God and getting close. How to pray, what are we praying for? Reading the word. And as I was doing this back in 25, on the professional side, work, it's like, yeah, like you said, Samantha, you just grin and bear, you just deal with it. But this time I said no. It was total disrespect. Total, and I always shrug it off. But this one, it was getting out of hand because it was a cycle that kept coming up, and was the disrespect on our team. The morale was down. I'm the kind of the morale protector of the team. I said, oh no, we can't deal with this. Because now I'm not laughing. If I ain't laughing, something wrong. You know how it is. If mama in the house ain't right, everybody ain't right. So, and I'm not boasting, me, but that's how the atmosphere was. And I was bold enough to speak up for myself and for my team. I said, no, we're going to go and talk to who we need to talk to get this situation handled, because we can't deal with this no more. And it happened. And they moved on it quickly. It usually take an act of Congress for anything to get resolved, but they within 3 weeks, gone. Not boasting about that, but the situation was handled. But because, and I felt the boldness, and I said, okay, God, I hear you. I see what your word said. I ain't gotta be afraid by the terror by night or the arrow by fire by day. Okay, that's what your word means. You said you're gonna protect me. You did. You gave me the boldness, and now I have the boldness more to go in my business. And so I'm not going to accept disrespect. That's how I protect my peace.
Yeah.
Because my God said, I am this. My God said, I can do this. Anybody come against that, okay, it's either I'm going to pray for you or you just have to go. So that's my peace right there. So
Yeah.
when you shared, I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, we all around and birds of a feather flock together. Okay. All right.
Yes, yes. And I love that too.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Mm-hmm.
we don't think we can stand up for ourselves.
Yeah.
Or we think it's been going on for so long. That's just the
Mm-hmm.
way it is. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
we know the script because the script been playing out over
Mm-hmm.
generations.
Generation. Yes.
But
Hmm.
I think that sometimes this was a piece of advice somebody gave me one time, and it was
Mm-hmm.
actually a white guy that gave me
Okay.
this advice. It was a situation, and I was very upset about it. And he said, go back to somebody sent me a text. I was really upset. He said, go back to the text,
Mm-hmm.
respond to what was said. Now, I knew what was not said. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
knew the underlying of what was going on, right?
Okay.
He said, but that wasn't said. He said, respond to what was said. He said, make them say it out loud. Sometimes we respond to what we know,
Mm-hmm.
but we have to just go by, the book, whatever the book is, go by the book and make somebody say it out loud or make
Hmm.
somebody, admit that they're not going to change a situation because sometimes we may be misjudging that situation based on our past experience. And we've had a lot of past experience, that makes us think that that's the answer, but we can't know it's the answer until we stand up in these situations and see that, wait, oh, it's been so long since this has been called out that maybe it's not as true as we feel that it is. You know what I'm saying? As far as whether or not it will be handled, it can't handle what hasn't been presented.
That's true.
Hmm.
So I think
Hmm.
we do have to change some perspective there instead of just like grinning and bearing it and acting
Yeah.
like, we just gonna keep rolling down the road with this.
Hmm. And so I think for me, it was listening more to my body and what I need. So whenever I had that thought of I can just push through, I stopped
Mm-hmm.
and gave myself what I needed, whether it was a nap, a walk, a call with a friend
Yes.
to like decompress, turn off screens, right? Just to listen to yourself and stop the pushing through
Mm-hmm.
because people will keep piling stuff
Yeah,
on you
true.
if you
That's
keep
true.
doing
Mm-hmm.
it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And so it's like, nope,
Nah.
that time for me.
That is true.
No, it's true. You have
Mhm.
to really draw the line in the sand because if you don't say nothing, they're like, "Oh yeah, well she's great at, I'm great at a lot of things."
Hello,
But that ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Right.
right?
That has nothing to do with this.
Yes, yes.
Not a
And so
darn.
separating, like that from your worth,
Yes.
right? Which is
Yes.
why we tend to push through and keep doing it because like we think it's going to make us feel better about ourselves, make other people
Mm-hmm.
think highly about ourselves, like do
Mm-hmm.
all of these other things when
Yeah.
Mm-mm. It's
it's
gonna get you more
really
work.
just running us. Exactly.
It's gonna get you more work.
Yep.
It's gonna
Mhm.
get you more work. That's it, and that's all. Yeah, no. So I think my thing, boundary wise is, and it is a boundary with myself, is understanding that even though, again, like you can do something, doesn't mean you have to do anything.
Yeah.
And really understanding I don't have a point to prove to anybody. I think that that can be a crutch for us sometimes is that we,
Mhm.
we've had to prove ourselves for so long that we do things to continue to prove ourselves. And then we wonder why we tired and we overwhelmed and we stressed out because we feel like we have to show people 100% of the time how, great we are. And it's like, you know what? I know I can do it. I don't really care if you know. I don't. Like, I don't have to do it. I don't have to be, I don't have to be the top of the class.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I spent all my life being, the top of the class or the youngest to do or
Mm-hmm. Girl.
so so what? Like, I can sit there and watch you do something that I already know how to do, and I might be able to do it better, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't, it's not serving my purpose. That's not the road that I'm going down. And I don't like, what validation am I getting from you knowing that I know how to do X, Y, and Z? So
Mm-hmm.
like just completely removing that and just being like, that's cool. And just just focusing on the things that are really valid to me and not I'm not trying to collect laundry list of accolades. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, that's so I like that because it when you get to that spot, that place is like, um, I'm here to conserve my energy now
Yes.
versus doing all the things
Yes. I love
to
that.
look good or to make other people celebrate us. It's like, no, I'm trying to save my energy because guess what? I've done enough. I
That
am
part.
enough.
That part.
That's all.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
all it
that's
is to me.
it.
Yep.
And that's it. And then I think a part of it too, like Ty was saying about the, disconnecting your worth from that. I
Mm-hmm.
think, what happens is you start to transfer that in people's minds, right? That is your worth. So then I'm like looking around like, you here because I have value, or you here for me?
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that becomes the question, like, because I know I'm valuable to be connected to,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end of the day, can we just sit on the sofa with a glass of wine and just hang out?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, yeah, it's gotta be a disconnect. Because then what happens if you lose your job or your kids grow up, so you're not, you're a mom still, but you're not that mom anymore because the kids out the house. And what happens, your situations will change. If your worth is tied to those different titles, then what happens? Yeah, there's some good stuff, ladies. There's some good stuff.
Love it. Love it.
All right, I'm gonna switch gears to a different kind of question. And I know most of us are, kind of solopreneurs, but we've worked in different jobs, and sometimes, you know, may have a team, may have contractors or whoever you work with, but it may be in your personal life. Um, Many times leaders struggle with letting go. What is the most difficult task that you finally delegated or deleted from your plate?
I can start because I did just let something go
Okay.
and my connection was unstable, so I had to turn off my video.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
you're fine.
but I am here. So I have been a part of this organization for the past 2.5 years that I believe in wholeheartedly and have poured way more time and energy than the initial commitment was supposed to be, and felt very like I wanted to stick with it and like help it get to the next level, and had a loyalty to people who were in the organization and wanted to support them. But I had an opportunity to say yes to something else, which meant having to examine what was on my plate and say no to something else that I do believe in, but it's not the time for me to keep pouring into that right now. And so it was challenging, and I feel bad that I am not able to give anymore to that organization, like my time. But I also know for my sanity, for the sake of the other organizations and my business and like everything else, that that needed to happen. So I
Hmm.
don't feel bad about it, right? That it's just shifted. And I told them I will still promote, support, share, like, follow, do the things. I just won't be here doing the behind the scenes work with the organization anymore.
And that's fair. And sometimes it just has to happen. Like, I know for me, like I've pulled back from a lot of things over the last year or so. And again, no lost love for the things, right? Like, or the organizations, but I just had too much stuff going on that I needed to tend to be able to be like fully present in that. And it,
Mm-hmm.
when I can, I will, but I mean, can't always. And that's okay. And I mean, I feel if somebody, I think in most cases people understand that if they do feel away, then I mean, that's a whole different conversation.
For me, it was more, do I want to go to the next level in my career and all that I have to do in order to go to the next level? To me, I looked at it as, do I want to jump through all these hoops? Who am I doing this for? Do I really want to devote that time? And I said no. My manager asked me, he's like, I said, no, I don't, I'm not looking for that in my career. Now, if I was younger, just starting out, maybe, but no, I'm fine. I'm fine where I'm at. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah. I said, I only have a few more years left and I'm out of here. They're like, really? But what you can get so much money. It's not about the money. It really is not. It's about peace of mind. And I felt comfortable. I was nervous with saying that because usually when my manager asks me to do something, I do it. But this one is like, no, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm okay. And I stand by that. And he asked me again, actually yesterday, well, if you want to go to the next level, I said, yeah, what would that take? But if it takes too much out of me, it's not worth it for me. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. So I'm happy about that. I'm put all that time into my business. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and I think that that's is really smart. Like people don't always see it like that. People see
Hmm.
like these linear paths and they not life is
Yeah.
not really like that per se, or it
Hmm.
is a path. It's not your path.
Right. Right.
So I hear that a lot. Like y'all know I got another business, right? And
Hmm.
so I don't want that business to do anything more than what it's doing right now.
Yeah.
Because it's not my calling.
Hmm.
It's my job.
That's it.
It's
Yeah.
my job. I
Hmm.
enjoy it, but
Hmm.
it's not my calling.
Right.
And any more of me being poured into that is not being poured into what
Hmm.
I need to be doing. So it becomes a distraction.
Hmm.
So people get weird. They're like, "Oh, this is a huge opportunity," and it's it is an opportunity. It's not an opportunity for me because
Hmm.
it's not on the road that I'm going on. Like my road is not on it hasn't been paved yet, so I'm just following when the Lord lays down some concrete, then I just try to if it's gravel I walk through that too. But
Yeah.
it's not I think sometimes people don't understand when you
Hmm.
don't want the thing that's supposed to be the golden carrot.
Yeah. Right. No, I'm good. Yeah. And you don't have to go through all the stress and the obligation. Now I feel like a chore, like, oh, I have to do this. And now all the negative, no, that's not me. I don't want that. And then
Mm-mm.
people are like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, no, I'm good. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I've been the same, or similar. I have just committed to doing less,
okay.
so that I can live more. And I found that has been surprisingly effective because
Mm-hmm.
I get more quality
Hmm.
opportunities, things that light
Yes.
me up.
Yes.
And that's really where it's like, if it doesn't light me up, if it doesn't give me a heck yeah, I want to do
Yes.
that, then I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So I have deliberately removed a lot of things like busy work, looking for more opportunities that may not have been aligned. Even when things come in my inbox, it's like, yeah, do I really want to do this? If it's not an immediate yes, it's an immediate no.
Yeah.
And so I'm just really loving the space that I'm in because I don't feel pushed, stressed. I don't feel like I have to strive or I'm trying to push a boulder up a hill. I'm just like going with the flow. And I like for a whole month, I think I would, and this is really probably weird, but I would get a black pen and I would write on my arm, follow your bliss. And just to remind myself, follow your bliss. You don't have to fight anything
Mm-mm.
or for anything. And that it's changed so much for me. And I do a lot of writing. And so of course, my degree is in English, professional writing, and I've spent years and years and years writing and editing and doing all the things. But now I'm leveraging AI. I will voice record what I want to say. I let AI write it for me and edit it and everything. So I think that's kind of a delegation thing that I've been
It is.
doing.
It is.
Yeah, so I get to inspire through my words, through audio, and I let it polish it up into a nice, still in my voice,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
post or article, even for social media, because that same audio can be turned into social media posts and stuff like that. So that's been my delegation. The other side of has been my deletion and allowing me to follow my bliss.
Yeah. I love that. I love,
Mm-hmm.
yes, automate to me, automation,
Hmm.
systems, and all of that is delegating, especially in spaces where we are, solopreneurs and stuff like that.
Hmm.
That is delegation for you to, let something else or someone else do it, right?
Right,
Get
right.
it off of your plate. Um, I love that you talked about delegation and deletion. So
Hmm.
I don't even have this question on the list, but I'm gonna spin it back around of what have you deleted from your, load that you may not have thought could have been deleted, right? Because I think when we start these journeys, we feel like everything is, an obligation,
Yeah.
right? And it's not. It's really not. Like once life shifts, it's usually some like, major event that happens in your life that makes you realize that some of that stuff is not as important. But for the listeners, maybe we can help them see some things that are not as important as, we once thought, that they don't have to have something, dramatic happen to get them there.
I think for me, it's been conversations that are not necessary, over explaining. I don't have to over explain, so I just don't do it. If you can't accept what I've said, then that's on you. Um, it took me a long time to get to the space where I was comfortable enough to allow things to just hang there and not
Yeah.
explain, not
Yeah.
try to make someone else feel better. It's like, yeah, no, this is what I said, and you can take it, interpret it, do whatever you want. Because I used to hate being misinterpreted. I hated when people didn't get what the meaning
Mm-hmm.
of what I was saying. But now it's like I let that go. I delete that whole line of thought and processing and overstimulating myself. And so I just deleted unnecessary conversations and explanations. I think that's important an important place to get to because you find yourself doing so much mental work in order to make someone else feel better when you feel worse because you've spent all that time and energy trying to say it the right way or make them feel a certain way and trying to control the outcome when you're not in control of what other people's
Mm-hmm.
perceptions are at
Yeah.
all.
And then, like, some people are determined to misunderstand you.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Like you did all that work. You didn't pulled out the, you didn't pull out the chalkboard. You didn't drew pictures and everything. You just didn't want to understand what I was saying. Like you just
Mhm.
wanted this to be an argument or whatever it is, whatever you outcome you wanted, no matter what I said, it was gonna lead us in the same spot. So yeah, I think I'm getting to that space too. And I totally understand like the whole like in one season of my life, I'm like, no, but what you're not gonna do is misquote me, And now I'm
Right.
like, all right then, look, all right. I
I
mean,
say people being
I
they
know what
feelings.
what happened and God know what
Mhm.
happened. So I mean,
Right.
all right.
Yeah. I let go of perfection.
Ooh.
I always, so starting in my journey, everything had to be perfect. And that was one of the struggles. I really had to work, my coach had to work that through me. It's like, it doesn't have to be right. It just
Mm-hmm.
has to be functional.
Right.
And the thing is, in my day job, just be functional. And I hope that, but in my business, it had to be right because I wanted to have that uh let's say image, I guess you can say, be personified as, oh, she nails it right out all the time. No, it's okay to make the mistake. It's just a lesson, right? I'm human. It's okay. And I let go of all of that. I let go of just all the learning. Oh, if I learn how to do this, if I learn how to do a CRM, and if I know how to do the automation, if I could do all of this at once. No, delegate.
Yeah.
Ask for help. And it don't have to be perfect. Just be function.
Yeah.
And in that it is perfect. So I
Yes.
had to let go of that mindset. I really did. And it freed me up. It did. Because I was chasing a whole bunch of shiny balls. Oh, I gotta learn this. Oh, I gotta get this. I gotta get that. And I was tired. I was burned out. I even took breaks. I had to take breaks from my business just to like, okay, is this really for me? And it really, that's how much of a toll it took on me. So now that was 24, parts of 25 and 26. It's going to be functional. It's going to be perfect like that. But I'm not going to be striving to get perfect. No, get that A just lined up real perfect. Okay, here's the B. Get that curve in just right. No, man, here's the A, here's the B. And
Yes.
C. Step one, step two, step three.
No, I'm laughing because again, Capricorn's on here, so you know how we are, right? So, but even in saying that, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep referring back to this good old book right here behind me.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a whole chapter that's about perfectionism being a form of
Mhm.
procrastination.
Yeah.
When we're talking about, imposter syndrome and worth and all of that,
Yeah.
we use those things as crutches
Mhm.
because as long as we moving that A and that B over,
Man.
we ain't got to be in front of nobody.
Hmm.
And a big thing that we have to embrace is messy progress.
Hmm.
So we're out here wanting to move in perfection, and God say, I want you to move.
Just move.
He ain't say perfection wasn't in the sentence at
Mm-mm.
all, right? And so we out here and we are missing the mark sometimes or delaying, what needs to happen because we don't want people to see how the sausage is made. You know what I'm saying? We want them to see the finished product, but we don't want
Mhm.
them to see us fail. And I think as, women, as black women, and Lord Jesus as Capricorns, we ain't trying to be looking crazy in these streets. But it is that embracing and that letting go to be able to, say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna move and it might not be perfect. And
Mhm.
even, now, like, because, some people, you always gonna have that one that's gonna try to point out
Of course.
the
Yeah.
imperfection.
Always gonna be one.
Always gonna be one. And my response to it has changed. You know what I'm saying? Like in one regard, like that would tear me up inside, but I'm about to tear you up because you told me up. Like that was if we being honest, if
Yeah.
we being
Come for me, I'm
honest.
gonna come for you.
Look, because ain't nobody asked you, right? But now I'm like, you know what? You're right. That wasn't perfect.
Mhm.
But I needed to move. And I know all of y'all probably can attest to this because I usually say it before we do a podcast episode. The person that's looking for the message is going to get the message. The person that's looking for the mistake is going to get the mistake.
Hmm.
I'm here to serve the person that's looking for the message.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I have to stay in that. And it's hard because Lord, does Capricorn run deep. It is hard sometimes to just be like, girl, you might not have all the bells and you might not have all the whistles, but you better get on this train and go ahead and do what you need to do.
Hmm.
So I think that that is like a big, big thing to like be able to release yourself from that and just move
Yeah.
and just do what you need to do because it comes together in the end.
Hmm. And it's freedom.
Oh goodness, is it freedom? Because you just like
Freedom.
so. I'll tell a story real quick. So just had the book came out in December. Had the book signing. I had a book signing schedule. The books did not come.
Oh.
Me and Ty talked about this, and I was like, "Girl, the book's
Yes.
not here. They're not here." I said I got five that I ordered at first, and then I ordered the rest of them afterwards. I said, but they not here, and I said, now me a few years ago would be sitting in the corner somewhere because my anxiety manifests itself physically. So I'd be sitting in the corner somewhere, stomach in knots and falling to pieces.
Oh
Me
man.
today was like, so the people that signed up for the book signing so far are all people that I'm close with that I can get it to them later.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
anybody who shows up that I'm not going to see later, I'll get them first priority or whatever. We're doing a discussion session so that, that they'll still get their value from the book signing experience and it's going to be fine. My writing coach was like, why you didn't tell me sooner? I could have contacted somebody. I was like, oh, I didn't know. And she was losing her mind, like absolutely losing it. And I was like, I can't do this with you because I didn't already resolve myself. I'm good.
Hmm.
And she was like, what you mean I'm good, friend. I'm good. Just let it be. I'm good. But that took some like that ain't took some maturity to get
Yeah.
there. But we really do have to release perfectionism.
So I remember years ago being in a program, and that was one of the tips, little like projects that we had to work through. And so whenever we had a call, a Zoom call, and we were typing in the chat box, we could not use the backspace,
Mm,
right? They said, you get it out there, get over yourself. And the way that they described it was put out your shitty rough draft, put it
mm.
out there. They said, because all of the big companies do it and they call it beta testing.
Yeah.
You want to sit here and hold it back and wait until it's perfect. It's just put it out there, right?
Yeah.
But for me, I will say the giving up is guilt over making the decisions that I am making for me, right?
Mm.
And to your point, Daniel, when you talked about I don't have to be at the top of the class, one of my favorite quotes is there's no valedictorian of life,
Tell it. Tell it.
right? Right. So I know like this quarter, I'm failing that. Like I'm not putting any effort into it and I know it and I'm okay with that. I don't feel
And it's
guilty about it.
cool.
It's not happening. And that's what I need to do to keep my sanity, to focus on the things I'm supposed to be focused on right now. And I'm so good with that. And letting go of that guilt. Oh my gosh. So freeing.
Yes. Yes. I love that. Because it's not anybody else's path, right? Like, I think, a lot of times people are trying to measure you against their stuff. And I'm not trying to do what you're trying to do.
Hmm.
So you can't make me feel small about it because I'm not trying to do what you're trying to do. I'm trying to do something else. And it may not make sense to you. It may not look, right to you, right? But I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Like
You ate already?
I think my release is probably like a combination. My release, I think, really has been releasing the feeling of obligation around and for those that's on that's listening and not viewing, I'm doing air quotes, supporting others. So like when it starts to feel like a chore, like stop making myself feel like I need to do this thing because if I don't, this person's feelings is going to be hurt when that thing is not of interest to me. Like, of course, sometimes you do something for a friend, as support, but sometimes it's like, you know what? This is like really going to aggravate the hell out of me. And it's not like, I don't even know that it's reciprocated. Like if the roles were reversed with this person when they didn't feel like it show up. So why am I stressing about whether or not I show up? So that's kind of where I am because I'm like real friends understand. Like,
Mhm.
there have been some things that happened recently and I've had like, several people reach out to me and they really like, were like, "Oh, I felt so bad. I couldn't attend this or I couldn't do that." And I'm like, "We good?"
Mhm.
Because I don't look at a particular instance as a representation of our entire
Mhm.
friendship, right? Like if I know that, you didn't show up today, but you showed up, on this other day that really meant more. Or you didn't show up today, but I know you wanted to be there or whatever. I'm not sitting up there keeping a tally of that type of stuff. You just know how somebody has made you feel over time.
Mhm.
But, at the same time, if we have a transactional relationship, then I have to remember that when I'm dealing with you, that this is transactional. This is not, a deep level relationship where I have to feel obligated to, and if you can't understand that also. Like if you like we didn't broke up because I didn't go to such and such, we wasn't
Yeah.
that tight.
Mhm. Right.
We wasn't that tight because I wouldn't do you that. So I think for me it's just, that. And I think it goes back to the like, I was talking about earlier with like the different organizations and all these different things. Like it's nice to, get together, but I'm not going to sacrifice myself to you make it happen. Like I mean, like me and Ty are, in this one group together. I really wanted to go to the meeting on Tuesday, but I had a huge job to prep for Wednesday. So like that would have really set me back to like break away to go do that thing.
Mhm.
So I wanted to be there, but it didn't make sense for me. So just being comfortable with that and just being like, you know what, I can't.
Yeah.
All right. And talking about feeling guilty. Um, how do you reframe doing nothing as a productive part of your leadership strategy?
Hmm.
Well, that's one of my favorite things these
I knew
days.
you was about to jump at this question.
You know what?
Think about
I'm
that.
like,
I knew you was
no.
coming in hot.
I love doing, and this is, when I tell you this is the antithesis of what my life has been my entire life. But this year, 2025 was my year of, like I said, doing nothing, doing less, and being comfortable with it. And I think that's the part that people don't recognize that your body literally needs to become comfortable with it, especially if you've always been the overachiever, the striver, the person who's always had their hand in everything. And that's been a source of validation for you. But when I stopped seeking validation, then the doing nothing became easier, and that gave me more room to be creative and to know what I really wanted to put out there, how I wanted to serve my audience and clients. And I was able to show up more authentically because I was doing nothing, because I was reconnecting with myself on a deeper level because
Okay.
I wasn't so busy. I wasn't always, doing this and
Yeah.
that and trying to be a part of all the different things. It's like, yeah, no, I can't do that. I won't be available. I'm not available. Blocking my calendar off, only putting 2 or 3 days where I'm available for meetings or connecting or whatever. Just being intentional about the nothingness and taking naps. You know?
Mm, I love a good nap.
Yes, I do. And I live with my daughter and she has a dog, and so the dog and I are, you know, always together basically while she's at school and doing different things. And the dog takes naps 10, 11 hours a day. And
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm
Mia
gonna,
wants to take naps. He does. He sleeps a lot.
yes, a lot. And I'm like, I'm gonna take a clue from you, baby girl, and I'm gonna take me a nap. I'm gonna lay myself down on the sofa and I'm gonna
He
enjoy
sleeps.
it.
I'm saying he'll sleep and then he gets up and then he moves to
Mhm.
another spot and then he go to sleep
Yes,
again. And then
yes,
he has the moments where he run around like a crazy person and then he just go right back on to sleep. And I'm
right.
like, you are my role model.
Yeah.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Mhm.
So, and it's been so productive to do less, to get my rest, to be fully present and fully connected to me, and being able to hear more,
Mhm.
be more intuitive, be
Hmm.
more, you know, just willing to do the high quality things
Yes.
instead
Yes.
of the quantity things. And so that's
Yes.
really made a big difference for me.
Mhm.
Yeah. That everything about that is
Mhm.
just
And I'm still getting opportunities.
And
People are still
that's
contacting me.
amazing. Yeah.
but I think sometimes those opportunities are missed because of the fact that
Mhm.
you're so busy that you
Hmm.
can't see them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, so I just love everything about that because there is
Mhm.
I'm gonna use Keena's word, there is clarity in being rested.
Yeah.
Like there's
Hmm.
so much
Mhm.
there. And I tell people all the time, you can't dream if you never sleep.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes. I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
that's about the same thing with me, Samantha, and knowing it's okay
Hmm.
Yes.
to rest. Even God rested. Oh, come on now, our creator
Yes.
rested. But okay,
Yes.
what makes you think we don't need rest? Hello.
Right.
But and planning my day better. And I always say, you know how you, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that in the evening. I ain't gonna do it in the morning. I don't feel like doing it. Yeah, okay. Weeks pass, it has not been done yet. So yes, planning the day out.
Yeah.
On these days, I'm doing this, like you said, Samantha. So it's really the same thing. And yes, have your rest days and have your no days. And like I said, over the holiday, I just did nothing.
Yeah.
I did nothing, and I stopped chasing those shiny balls because yes, opportunities. You'd be so tired because you've been doing everything. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say, you know what? I have to rest so I can reset and be there for my business, be there for my clients, be
Yeah.
there for my family, and for
Yes.
my, yeah. So same thing.
Yeah. You mentioned the
Yeah,
shiny balls.
girl.
This
Yeah.
past week, I was, scrolling through social media and something popped up, somebody's, ad or whatever. And I was like, hmm. And I clicked on it and they said, 5-day live challenge. Girl, you can't even get your name right this week. What you look like trying to sit through? I was like, your list is long enough. Don't add nothing else to,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
to what you're doing and like
Yeah.
understanding that, um, I think that was Ty earlier that was saying about not forcing, like I'm not pushing through.
Hmm.
I'm not
Mm-hmm.
forcing stuff to happen. If it passed, it passed, and that's okay.
Hmm.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely okay, but I'm not about to stress myself out.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And if it's meant to be, it'll come back around again.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
the time will be right for you to
Yes.
take
Hmm.
advantage of that opportunity, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you do it when you don't have the time,
Oh my God.
you sit through that class and then you wrote down all these notes that's going to sit in a notebook for like, 3.5 years.
Mhm.
that you then forgot. You know what I'm saying? Because you
Mhm.
don't even you can't even receive it in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I think for me, it's like reframing it to it's not that I'm doing nothing, I'm taking care of me,
Hmm.
right? And it's, I certainly love, like, your point when you said Jesus rested, right? And when I talk to women, specifically moms, about the need and importance to model this, especially for their children,
Hmm.
right? That this is how I recharge my battery, right? And whether that's a walk or reading or taking a nap or whatever it is that you need in that moment, right? You need to do that. And that it's not because one of the reasons why it's like if somebody's like, "Oh, what you doing?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And it's like, "Oh, well, can you?"
No.
Right? And it's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm taking care of me." Like I'm on my schedule right now. Like it's Ty was on the calendar for this hour, and Ty is taking care of Ty. So I am busy. I'm busy
Right.
taking care of me.
Right.
Right.
No, yeah, I absolutely love that. I know, we've kind of talked before about that, taking that space and recharging. I just God, like it's important. It's so important. I don't know why we've, let society tell us that it's not
Mm-hmm.
and make ourselves feel guilty for resting. We're not designed to just keep going. We're not
We
set
are
up
not the
like that.
Energizer Bunny.
Mm-mm.
No, no, and you're not, it doesn't make you more productive.
Right.
You're
Mm-mm.
busy and productivity are two
Absolutely
totally
different thing.
different things. And
Mm.
so you're not engaging in that. And just because, ADHD, before I forget, you're talking about God had to rest. There's a whole episode with Cheryl. Cheryl couldn't be here today, but her episode is about biblical rest.
Mm.
Mm.
Very, very good episode. But you need that. You need to have that as a core part of how you operate, how you move. It feels different. On the other side of this, it feels different.
Mm.
I don't have the anxiety that I used to have, right? I mean, it still creeps, but it's not that it's not, it don't have me debilitated. It's like, oh, okay, girl, you want to play today? No, I'm not doing that with you. Let's move on. But it's things feel different when your body becomes accustomed to rest.
Mm.
Things feel different. You operate at a higher level. Um, like Samantha said, you start to see those opportunities. They couldn't find you before because your calendar was booked out. They was like, well, hey, you ain't got no time. So they didn't even come your way. Now you have time to see those opportunities and also to evaluate them. Because when you're tired, you make bad decisions. I'm just gonna put that on
Mm-hmm.
the table. When you're
Yep.
tired, you make horrible decisions. So you continue to commit yourselves to things that are not aligned with where you're trying to go because you're not in a capacity to process them because you're tired. So y'all give rest.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah.
rest. Like I just don't know any
Yep.
better way to tell you but to really get rest so you can be better and perform better. And just for your own personal, even if you don't do nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not about
Mm-hmm.
your business. This is about yourself and your longevity and being able to stay here. And just right now it's coming back to my mind like cuz this like rocked me. I don't know if y'all saw the young lady that she was like a chef or something like that. She was I think in her 20s, 20 like maybe late 20s, early 30s. She, was, had a big following on social media. She kept saying, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so
Mm.
tired. And so she finally said, y'all, I'm gonna take a 3-day break. I'm, not gonna be on social media, not working, whatever like that. That girl went to rest for 3 days and then wake up
Oh. Mm.
in her like she wasn't older than 30, if I remember correctly, and gone.
Mm.
Like it's not worth it. What are you?
Mm-mm.
What again? there's no valedictorian. So what are
Yeah.
you? What are you? What are
Mm-hmm.
you competing towards?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a
You can.
great,
Oh, go ahead.
I was
I'm
gonna say,
sorry.
there's a great book by Matthew Walker, Why We Sleep. And he goes through and just breaks down all of this information. And then we all know that sleep deprivation is a torture technique,
Oh,
Hmm.
wow.
right?
Yeah, right.
We know the importance of a baby's sleep schedule, and we make sure that they get sleep, but then we feel like we don't need it, deserve it, we haven't earned it. There's some great videos where he talks to athletes who talk about how they prioritize their sleep, because they know if they don't get enough sleep, they don't perform well in the game. They were like, I can make that shot in practice all day long. If I didn't get enough sleep before the game, I'm missing it every time.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So just for functioning, or the number of people who drive sleep deprived,
Yeah.
Hmm.
right? I was on autopilot. I don't even know how I got there.
That
Uh-huh.
part.
That's not
Mhm.
good, y'all. That's
Look,
Right.
but
that's
look,
never a
you
Right.
good
you
thing.
you lucky that you did get there.
Right.
Is the
Mhm.
Exactly.
reality. I mean, like people will admonish people for drunk driving, but it's no different.
Right.
Hello.
Mhm.
It's really
Yeah.
no different. And it's like,
No.
and then for what?
Yep.
Like I still, it's like, and I'm not saying that without understanding being on the other side of it, because I used to be that, on that other
Mm-hmm.
side. But
Mm-hmm.
on this side, for what? What did it get you?
Mm-hmm.
What
Nothing.
is like, it's not worth it. Like it's
Mm-mm.
almost like, like people say you get all of this money, but you don't have the opportunity to enjoy it. You can't be enjoying yourself. Like you cannot be enjoying yourself if you just tired all the time.
Mhm.
If you're going all the time, when do you have moments for yourself? And in the episode with Cheryl, like we talked a lot about like rest not just being sleeping, rest also
Mm-hmm.
just being restoration and all of those things. So when are you doing that?
Right.
And I think that is so important, especially as women, to recognize that masculine energy and hormonal cycles are 24 hours, whereas ours is 28 days. And so being able to
Mm.
integrate that into our life, in our rest periods, in our active periods, and really becoming aware of that, educate ourselves on that, because we live in a masculine driven society from work wise, and they're very competitive, but women are more cooperative, we're more collaborative,
Mhm.
and we have our own internal clock that tells us literally every month, every phase of the moon, this is your rest time, this is your active time, this is your creative time. And if we can integrate that into our calendars, pay attention more to that, then I think that rest becomes natural. It becomes a natural rhythm for us. So we don't have to fight ourselves, we don't have to force it, but it just is part of our every month way of doing things. And learning that was really important for me. I understood all about the cycles and everything, but from a physical standpoint, but not
Mm-hmm.
from a emotional and integrated lifestyle perspective, a productivity perspective. So that just really changed my view. And even though I'm postmenopausal, I still use the moon cycle to be able to just have my rest period, my active period, and my creative period. So by keeping that in mind, I think that's going to really kind of make things click a little bit better, especially for high driven women and who want to get back into their feminine nature and allow their natural cycles to drive them versus the world's competitive 24-hour cycle, got to be on all the time and grinding and hustling and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You know how I feel about the grind, coach.
That gets old very quickly.
Yeah, I
Yes, it
mean, it
does.
really does. And again, what is the point?
It's,
Right.
yeah.
What's the point? Like at the end of the day, what's the point?
Hmm.
Like you know what you're capable of, right? You know what you can, do. You proving it to somebody else, and then what's about to
Right.
happen? Like I'm confused about what's about to happen next, right? Um, I was watching this clip earlier today. There was it's this guy on the subway, and he does like he asks people what their hot take is.
Oh, okay.
And the guy's hot take was about rest. And I don't remember exactly what his take was, but in the middle of the conversation, he said, I don't think that people who, it was about busyness. That's what it was. He said about the fact that people aren't actually as that we're all busy. People always are like using busy as an excuse for things, and they're like we're
Mhm.
all busy. But he was like, I think that people being too busy is a sign of them not being successful. And that success is that you're not busy to the point of overwhelm. And I think that that's something that we need to re-examine, because I think that we look at success as like, you collected all the things.
Mhm.
You've achieved all the accomplishments. You have checked all of the boxes. And it's like, is it? Like, did you enjoy any of that? Like, what,
It goes back to what you said. I mean, what's the point? Like,
yeah,
who's this for?
yes, who is it for? Because it's not for me. Because I mean,
Why are we doing this again? Yeah.
right. Right. I think that that's a real question that we need to be asking. Like,
Mhm.
why am I doing this?
Mhm.
Because, especially as Black women, if we look at the things that we are chasing versus the outcomes that we are receiving, it's not it's not looking good, because we're not getting paid more. We're not getting, looked at the same as far as upward mobility in most of these corporations. Our health outcomes, like it's all of these things that are negatively impacting us. And some of them, outside of our control. I'm not gonna, deny that, but some of it is. There's some hamster wheels that we can jump off of.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
There's some hamster wheels we can jump off of and protect our peace. We don't have to keep being 10 times better.
Mm-mm.
We're not getting paid 10 times more. So let's not. Like, what are we doing for personal fulfillment? And how much, if you had to put a percentage on it, is not feeding that. Let's see. I'm gonna try to find us a good one. Um, so okay, this is gonna be, I'm gonna wrap up with this question because I don't want to hold y'all too much longer. But this is what would you tell a woman leader that feels like she's drowning in the grind? What's like her first step as she moves forward?
Slow down and be honest with yourself. Why are you doing this? Really sit down. Why am I doing this? And keep asking why until you can't ask yourself why anymore, until you get to that very root of that, I can't say issue, but root of the reason. What's your big reason why you're doing this? And if it, you come to find out, and I'm gonna go back to the clarity that you get clarity. Is this really for me?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's just to make someone else look good? Whether
Right.
it could be your boss or your family or your friends or somebody you try to impress. And that's why you're so stressed out.
I like that.
You know, that's what I would ask her.
I like that. Because a lot of times we're not being honest with ourselves.
Hmm.
Or we have not even asked the question. We're just kind of on that autopilot.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. And you could find that you're not really aligned with that business or that company.
Mhm.
Hmm.
They wanted you to be the CEO of, XYZ Marketing Incorporated, but you're really a pottery artist. I mean, really, that's your strong suit. You go home to de decompress by doing whatever that is your heart. That's your natural self. That's where your natural talent is. And I'm a big component of like a big promoter, really. Do what you love,
Mm.
Mhm.
not based on what society said, and not even based on, and I hope I don't get in trouble with this, but even what your parents think you should do. But because if you're
Yes.
doing it to please them,
Yes.
eh,
Mm-mm. You're not
there's
gonna be
no
happy.
enjoyment. And we've heard it. When I retire, I'm really gonna do what I wanted to do. Well, why can't you do
Why
that
you
now?
can't you do it now?
Why can't you do
And
that now? Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's like a faith thing too, because I
Mm-hmm.
had a conversation earlier with one of my friends, and we both, are balloon artists. And the thing
Okay.
about it is, no matter what the industry is,
Yeah.
you can make money in it. You can be successful in it.
Mm-hmm.
There gonna be some people that are killing it, and there gonna be some people that are, it's not working.
Right.
But it's all about you being aligned in what you put into it, right? Like, so I think sometimes people think, oh, well, I can't make money being a pottery artist, and they got somebody that got a pottery studio right now that's killing
Come
it,
on.
you know.
We need mugs, we need bowls, we need pots. Hey, we need a whole bunch of stuff.
So it's
Why not?
just
Yeah.
really like
Mm-hmm.
believing in yourself, believing in,
Mm-hmm.
God and what God has put in you,
Right.
and moving in that direction, but
Mm.
loving yourself enough to give yourself that freedom.
Yep. Mhm.
I would tell her to take um, incremental actions, starting with play, because I think we are so disconnected from our joy
Mm,
that we're so suppressed and repressed. It's like if you take, let's just say 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and you do something playful, something that brings you delight, whether you have some little figurines on your desk and you decide to kind of like role play something,
Mhm.
or if you have some jacks or something that you used to play with when you were a kid. I bought a paddle, those little paddle balls.
Yeah.
I bought that, and that challenges you, but it's still playful.
mm-hmm,
And I think that kind of pulls you out of that tough exterior. It pulls
mm-hmm,
you out of confusion because a lot of times we're confused about and conflicted about what we want versus who we are
Hmm.
and what other people should want for you and are telling you should be doing. But if you can get reconnected with that inner child, they can give you some clarity.
Yeah.
And they'll help you ask, what do I really want? How do I really feel in this moment? And then, but it's giving yourself permission by doing those incremental, playful things so that
Okay.
you can reconnect to yourself, so you can be honest with yourself, because I think that's where that gap is.
Hmm.
We're not, we're so used into being an adult, being grown up, being responsible that we've lost touch with our true desires, and getting back to that playfulness helps us tap into that desire again.
I like that.
I ain't played with no jacks in a while, man. You gonna have to
Man, you
go
said
find
Jack.
some jacks.
Hey.
Man, you
Yeah.
couldn't beat me at jacks.
Hmm.
I want some Jack.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I would ask yourself to do a brain dump, list all of these things that you were doing, and say, whose job is it? Because I
Mm.
promise you, if you're that overwhelmed, you're doing somebody else's job too,
Ah,
Ooh.
that's a good
right?
one. I
Whether
love it.
it's at home and you're trying to
Mhm.
work like you don't have a job, and be a parent like you don't work, like all of these things, right? Look through, and are there things that you can delegate? Are there things that you can hire somebody else to do? Are there things that are just getting crossed off the list?
Yeah.
because when I think about especially us as entrepreneurs, and when we talked about that perfectionism, like we are putting out quality the same way this Fortune 500 company is that has a marketing department, that has a communications team, that has somebody in the mail room going through this, that has an accountant and like all of these other
Mhm.
pieces. And most of the time, when you're starting out, it is you doing all of those things.
Right.
Of course, you're overwhelmed,
Yes. Yes.
right? Right.
Yes.
So when you figure out whose job it is, again, figure out where you can delegate, hire, drop some of those other things so you can breathe again.
Yeah. And I'm a piggyback my advice right off of yours, Ty. And I mean, y'all know that I do the calendar detox challenge, and
Mhm.
that's really what it's all about is just getting that clarity, getting that honesty with yourself about where you are, how you're complicit, because we don't want we it's everybody else. No, a lot of it is you. And just like, Ty said, like a lot of the things you're doing, somebody else could be doing. So, that's where I would start. I don't have the copy of it behind me, but next week the I don't do it all and neither should you book comes out, right? So I got two back to back. Y'all understand now why I've been inside
Mhm.
for a minute. But so that one comes out, but it is the intro into the calendar detox. And that's, we really got to stop looking at everything as an obligation. Some stuff is not for us.
Mhm.
Like, everything Ty said, and then add to that, some stuff just need to just get thrown off the list altogether. Like some stuff is nobody's job because why? Why are you doing it?
Mhm.
Like, why is it important? So that's what I agree with all of you just about having that honest conversation, starting there. I love the idea of the playfulness as well
Mhm.
because we have to get back to what do we enjoy? Like that is the most awkward conversation usually with me and clients is like, who are you? What do you enjoy? Separate from being somebody mama, separate from being, on the job. Oh, me and my friends like to know, what do you like to do? Like if you had a free day to go just do it, a lot of times we don't know how to answer that question. We are
Mhm.
so far from remembering that part of ourselves,
Mhm.
like that really purely selfish, really childlike part of ourselves that
Mhm.
just, this is what I want to do and just go have a grand time. So I'm gonna wrap us on up because we done some talking. If y'all want to know more about us, y'all can always come and find us, and follow us. Follow, Samantha's podcast, and you can, get some, more regular doses of what's going on with her. But so I want to give each of you an opportunity just to share what's going on in your world. How can people get in touch with you, and any final thoughts that you have?
For me, I'm on social media, Keenan Nelson, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And what I'm doing is it's gathering, or I should say, organizing my next summit. So it's going to be Clarity as a Foundation. That's the title. So, yes, I'll be reaching out to get speakers. So it will be later this year, but just building up more of my audience as well. And I'm also learning um, a transaction business for real estate because I've always loved to be in the real estate business. So I
Mm,
was like, oh, I can do that and coach that. That's me. So doing something for myself. That's what I am doing. And
awesome.
yeah, that's me. So you can find me on social
Awesome.
media.
All right, and I'll get everybody's stuff and put it in the show
Yeah.
notes. So all of the
Okay.
links that we mentioned, we'll have in the show
Okay.
notes for you guys.
Okay.
All right, Samantha, Ty, who wants to go next?
Awesome. Yeah. So I am at Self Care Oasis on Substack, and my podcast is there as well. I am helping women move from self-sacrifice into self-devotion. That is my theme for 2026 because we expend so much energy in helping other people and doing for other people. It's time for us to get selfish and really, really tap into self-devotion. I'm also going to be launching university where you get a PhD in yourself and self-knowledge because that is a pathway to sustainable self-care, self-devotion. And that's going to probably launch in the second quarter. Right now, I'm going to have an orientation kit put out in the next couple of weeks where you can do a self-study and go through the process of getting to know yourself on a deeper level, so that you can know yourself, love yourself, trust yourself. And that's how self-devotion really sticks for you. And because, so you can become happier, healthier human beings and tap into your joy.
I
So
love
I'm looking forward to sharing that with you all in the future.
it.
Fantastic. And I have the 5 calendars. So there's a year of self-discovery, which helps you to rediscover who you are. Time for us. So it's like date night, do this, talk about this. So it takes a lot of the heavy lifting off of couples in the relationship, which, to be honest, takes a lot off of the wife in the relationship for planning date nights, right? Time to learn for families to really create and embrace lifelong learners. The women entrepreneurs, where we highlight a different woman each month who shares tips on different forms of entrepreneurship. And time to give, which is learning different ways that businesses, families, and nonprofits can support each other. The other big thing that we have is Time to Play, which is February 28th. So we have an all adult night at Carousel Gardens in City Park. We have nonprofits and business partners come out and table, and general public comes to learn about the organizations. I
Oh,
say you either find a place that you want to volunteer, a place you want to support financially, or places providing services you didn't know you needed. But again, back to that emphasis of play, right? So everybody tables the first 90 minutes and you get to walk around and learn. And the last 90 minutes, you get to go play in the park and ride the rides you want to ride, not like what your kid wanted to ride,
Right.
right?
no, love it.
I love that. And you said about the time with us and taking the pressure off of the wife. So I had two of the calendars and I put the time with us not for any reason other than I just sat it down on the table
Mhm.
and me and my husband were inflating balloons and he was like, "Yeah, this is a cool calendar that I got." And I was like, "Yeah, really, where you got it from?" He's joking or whatever. He's like, "Yeah, I mean, so he's all into the calendar. He stole my calendar, okay? I'll just
Oh,
say
I
Oh,
that.
stole
yes,
it.
He stole my
yes.
calendar." I said,
I
"Well, where
love
did
it.
you get it from?" Because I said it looks like a calendar that I got from like, this really cool woman that I know. He's like, he's like, "Yeah, it looks like it." But I'm like, "All right." So he has stolen my calendar. So it's doing
Yay.
what it's supposed to do.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. I
Love
love
it.
that. Thank you.
Love that.
So, I'm Coach Danny D, the podcast. So this is going to be the fourth year. This is the fourth year anniversary of the podcast. I'm very
Mhm.
excited about that. Also, I've talked about the Capable Confident book that came out on
Mhm.
December 16th. So that is available on Amazon. But if you want a signed copy, I will put the link in for being able to get a signed copy because I do have some here. So I can get those out for you. Because, I'm still an overachiever even in my rested state. On January 13th, the I Don't Do It All and Neither Should You book is being released. So that will be out on Amazon as well. You can always do pre-orders also for that. So that's gonna be available, especially if you are trying to, get off that hamster wheel. It's a start. It's a good starting point. And if you know anything else about me, I'm not a big, fluff person. I'm a very action person. That's that Capricorn that we got in the room. So both of the books have actionable steps for you to take to move forward. So, I just, want y'all to know that it's not just going to be reading. You're going to have some steps you can take to move forward in the process. Um, Coming out in March. So both Ty and Kina are a part of the Profits in Pajamas anthology. So that's going to be coming out in March. And I'm working on a summit to go along with that. So stay tuned for that. I'm slowly creeping into this new year. And once I get my gears going, watch out. But right now I'm on slow motion. So, but stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming out. And then in October, I'm doing the CEO Safe Space Retreat. So that will be the space to just let your hair down as a CEO, whether that is of your life, of your business, or if you're in a corporate space. Basically, that's the space to just let go. We're not teaching nothing about business. This is all about you and restoring. So that's just much needed. We don't always have the space. We don't always have the ability to have these conversations. That's why this panel discussion is my favorite, because it's just the realness. It's the things that we don't always get to talk about, because maybe your friend is not an entrepreneur as well, or not in the same position in their business as you, and they don't understand. Or maybe you just don't want to you don't want to be you don't want to show that side of yourself. Sometimes, that's a thing. Like, you want people to see the polished side of yourself. And I mean, we gonna work through that too, because we said we gonna do messy action, but we gonna work through that. But you may not want that, right? You may want, a space where you're like, okay, I know I'm in a safe space and I don't have to worry about being vulnerable. So that's what the retreat is. So that's going to be October 20th through 23rd. And you can go ahead and apply for that. It is application, just because of the fact that we want to make sure that the space is curated, with the right people in the space to create that safe space. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's going on. I rotate months between the Capable Confident Challenge and the Calendar Detox Challenge. So if you want to go deeper on either of those topics, just check out my website, coachdannid.com, and you can get information on both of those things. And I think that is it. And if not, catch it in the show notes, because I can't remember everything. But I want to thank you, ladies, for being here. I want to thank you for sharing in your individual episodes as well as this one.
Mhm.
I know I've gained a wealth of knowledge from each of you, and I value our relationships. And we talked earlier about relationships and connections. Build them, keep them, create your own communities of, people, and, create opportunities within those communities. Because I love when I see y'all collaborate with each other. I'm like, oh, so and so's doing this with that one. And, like, I love that, because that's what it's here for. Like,
Mhm.
Ty said earlier, let's be intentional
Yeah.
about our promotion of one another.
Mhm.
So I'm going to leave you guys with that. And I will see you guys next week. And thanks again, ladies, for being here.
Thank you for having us. Now, Samantha gonna have us going out there get some jacks.
I know
Yes.
I'm going to get some jacks.
Yes.
You think I'm playing? I'm going to go get some. I'm like, bruh,
Yes.
I forgot about jacks. So
Mhm.
yeah, y'all get some Jacks too. I don't know if Samantha got a Jacks link. You gotta.
No, no, this is my winter self-care guide I wanted to share with you all too. So,
Okay, thank you.
Oh yeah, so Samantha does have a winter self-care guide that's gonna be in the show notes as well. So I'm gonna stop recording so we could just chat ourselves. But thank you guys, thank you listeners for sticking around with us for another year, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with these. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. For more information about creating balance in your life, register for my upcoming Calendar Detox Challenge at CoachDanniD.com. Don't forget to subscribe, join the community, and book a call to find the workflow program that best fits your needs.